Let's do another example for, say, the customer wants to change the battery. So if he's very sure about the battery, then we just go ahead and do a battery change and go to the estimate. But we're usually going to at least do a battery test so we can confirm it's tested battery. So usually you're going to start with the labor. You can simply type in for battery test here, or we have, if he said he's not able to start, then we're going to go to symptoms, saying like no crank or something battery related would be, so there's no start or no start and hard start. You double click on that, it has a preload everything in there. This is the no start or hard start. Well, it based on, you can just go start and done, so add into it. Then you can modify the writing in there, diagnose the no start or hard start. Could be the battery is hard and battery is low, and then you can just change the hour accordingly. If you feel generous, it's easy to find out. You can do a half an hour charge on it. Assuming this is the case, the customer said it's very hard to start in the morning. Then you find out, well, of course, you're going to tell the details. Say here, you can say, after testing, identified the battery is too weak and battery has failed the test or the battery test. And then you can say recommended for a new battery, blah, blah, blah. You're going to write things up. Okay. Then in here, you're going to say, you're going to go to the estimator to find out how long or how much is the labor for changing the battery. If I go to electrical charging system, if I don't see a battery here, the easy way would be here. Just type in I was just typing battery, and the bat is already showing me a battery. So there's a 2-3 place. You go engine mechanical, starter system, you have a battery. Go to a battery removal or remove and replace. Then, well, it includes a test in there already. Very good. So this one is only half an hour. Then I say add. Then in the bottom, you go to transfer. Because we're already in the invoice stage. So if you are not in the invoice stage, you would be in the estimate stage. You won't keep asking the question because there's a dollar change. So here you have a better, you're going to rearrange it because we did the diagnose part first. And the double click in the diagnose, you should have already saying the testing shows the battery is weak, the battery failed the test, recommend a new battery, blah, blah, blah. Then, and in here you will be including the battery replacement. So remove and replace, including the test in testing the new battery. So this thing says a 0.5 hours. Depends on the vehicle. If it's 5 years old, add a 0.1. If it's 10 years old, add a 0.2. So I'll say point here, I'll be adding 0.2 because this is more than 10 years old. Category, this one is, I'll say, yeah, I already changed the dollar, yes. Category, I should say this is electrical related. So I say electrical. Then I go save. So this is the labor part is already covered, but we need to find out how much is the battery going to cost. This is still my oil change button. You click on the home button. It will go back to the original search area. Battery is a common item, so you can just find it here. If it's a weird item or the not common item, you can always enter in here and go search for it. Since we already have the battery here, we just click on the battery, search. Okay, there's a few of the batteries, and I usually don't go to the Proformer, which is the cheapest. I usually would go to something at least a half decent. So Napa, the Power Start battery, that should be a good one. Something at the cost of 117, that's a very good deal. And the next level is 167. So if your customers are really tight, you want a cheap one, you can sell them this one, 117. You can put a recommended or you can sell the retail price at 189. Or if it's a customer who is much better, you notice the difference. This is a 525 and this one is a 640 amp. So the battery has a way bigger capacity. It would actually last longer as well. So, but the customer only have little money. He just want to get a car going for the short run, and he probably sell the car in 2-3 years down the road, so you can give him a cheaper one. If the customer said, I'll keep the car for the next 5 to 10 years, you'll give him this more expensive one because this is a higher quality, lasts longer one. And so if we go with this one, I would actually copy. Oops, I didn't want to copy the whole thing. I just want to copy the battery part here. As usual, Control C. Then my shortcut is this one and Tab. Alt Tab, we go to a different screen, which is this screen over here. So we can add another line just for the battery. Then we go to the parts. We can enter the part. So part number, you go to Control V. Part number has came up. Yeah, it's a part code. We don't have a code for that yet. So, but here you can say new battery. So a new battery, how many does it need? You need a 1. Oops, what did I do here? I was trying to enter 1, but it's hard to shoot with the thing here. So unit cost, if you remember, the 117. Let's review it again. So go to Alt Tab, screen shifted. So it cost 117.85. The core you don't need to worry about right now because we got a refund from Napa if we return the core. So let's do 117. I forgot the number already. 117.85. So here we're entering 117.85. In the internal matrix is already designed this price to sell, which is a margin of 50%. So 50% is a little high for a battery because we don't go that high usually. In the 35% margin, you would sell it for 181. So we can keep it because Napa sells for 183. We can go 185 here. I think that's a reasonable number. If we go that way, the margin is 36.3. Okay, so we should also entering the category. This work is related to electrical and our accounts. The vendor. Who we get the vendor from is called Napa. Where's Napa? Napa's down there. So Napa Auto Parts. Okay, we fill up the Napa and we fill up the, well, this one just usually I don't really care about that. Accounts and parts and the technician. This is the old technician's name. We'll just keep this for now. So we go to done. Yes. Okay, so this will become a new estimate for the customer for, I want us to test why is the car hard to start in the cold morning, and we would definitely recommend a battery. So in this time, so the final cost for the customer is the 443, which is very normal for a battery job. If the customer is 100% sure, it doesn't matter the battery is good or bad, he just wants to change the battery, sure, we can remove that. So we can delete a line. I just hit a delete. If you want to know, just hit a delete. It'll say, you sure you want to delete this line? I say yes. That's for the customer coming, give us a key, said, change my battery. Okay, so if we change the battery only, then the cost drop down to 304. And though the only charge will be the battery charge and a new battery. It's weird. Why? Okay, I think the previous one was the test in there was probably costing too much. I probably didn't change from 1.1 hour down to like half an hour. So this is how you do a battery job, and always make sure, because when you change the battery, some vehicles would have their radios locked out. You couldn't start the radio anymore. If that's the time, you need to call the dealership and give them this VIN number and tell them we just changed the battery, the radio got locked out, we need the password for unlock the battery. And that time, if the dealer gives you a 5 or 6 digit of number, you write it down. Either you can also grab the customer's the service manual in their car or owner's manual, and you can write down on the owner's manual of the radio key is 1 2 3 4 5 6 or 5 3 2 1, something like that. And then make sure the battery is after changing the battery, the radios are working. Then you can return the car to the customer. Otherwise, the customer will be pissed and why did you break my radio? Okay, that's the example for a battery change.